Hey everyone, we're going to be going over division of polynomials. The previous lesson we did multiplication, adding, subtracting, using exponents, distributing, and the like for operating with polynomials. And I did not do division because it's a little trickier. So this lesson is completely devoted to how can we use a skill that we used way back in grade school, long division, to divide these things. So let's review the process of long division. That might help you kind of get in the mindset to do these problems down here. This is the handout that you have for 3.2. So if you remember from long division, we always write what we're dividing by. That's called your divisor. Outside of this, I don't even know what that symbol's called. I guess I'll just call it the house. And the dividend, what we have divided from, is going to go inside. So you probably remember that. And what you want to do is you want to look at the first digit and you want to see how many times 6 goes into it. Now we know 6 doesn't go into 1, so we go out one more and we look at 12. Well, 6 goes into 12 twice. So we put 2 up there. Then we multiply those together, and that's going to give you 6 times 2, which is 12. We subtract down, and there's nothing left. Now you bring down the 5 here, whatever the next digit is, and you look at how many times 6 goes into 5. We don't have another number here. So does 6 go into 5? Well, no, it doesn't go into 5 at all. It goes into 6 one time. So we're not quite there. So we're going to say 0. Well, I'm going to do the 0 times 6 to get 0. And I'm going to subtract that. And 5 minus 0 is going to be, well, that's going to give you 5 again. So now that I have this number here and I have nothing left to bring down, this is your remainder. And when we write our final answer, we say our quotient, which is the expression up there above the line, and your remainder over your divisor. So your divisor goes down here, your remainder goes up there, and your quotient goes there. So 20 and 5/6. Let's verify a couple things. So first of all, if you took your calculator and you did 5 divided by 6, you get about 0.8333 repeating. And if you did 125 divided by 6, that gives you 20.833. So you can see the 20 is this part before the decimal, and then the 5/6 is the 0.833 together. That's your answer. So this is actually a very precise, exact answer. And this long division process can get you those. And we use that for our polynomial expression. So I know it's got a little bit more challenging problems on there, but same can be said for those. So I'm going to go over examples 1A and 1B in this side with you. To start polynomial division, we're going to set it up in the house like we did for the other long division problem. So we're going to write x minus 2 on the outside. Inside of the house, we're going to write the dividend. So we're going to have 4x squared plus 2x plus 5. Now, when we're dividing these, it's important that if we have any missing terms, that we replace that with a placeholder. We use 0. So if you notice, I have 4x squared, then it follows by 2x, and then 5. We're not missing any powers between the squared term and the constant. Same thing over here. We have an x term and a constant. So there's nothing missing between those. So what we do, we follow kind of a 6-step process. And I'll go over this step process kind of after we go over this the first time. So let me explain what we do first. We look at the first term here, the x and the 4x squared. And we want to divide those out. So if you think about 4x squared divided by x, that's going to get you what? Right, it's going to get you 4x. The x squared divided by the x is just x. So that equals 4x. That divided answer is going to be what we put right above the line. So 4x divided by x is going to be 4x squared divided by x is going to be equal to 4x. From there, we take our 4x and we distribute it to all the terms on the divisor. So 4x times x is going to give you 4x squared. 4x times negative 2 is going to give you negative 8x. And I don't have a third term, so notice that there's just nothing under here. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the same rule that we did before, and we're going to subtract down. Now, when I subtract down, what happens is you're actually subtracting all the terms that are down here. So that negative is going to flip all the signs. That looks like this. You're going to take this negative, and that's going to make that 4x negative. That negative here is going to flip that to a positive, right? A negative and a negative is a plus. So what we're really doing is we're canceling these out. That's nothing. And then this was 2x minus negative 8x, which is really 2x plus 8x. Well, it's going to give you 10x. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number here, bring it down, and I'm going to repeat that process with these first two terms. So if you look at the 10x and the x, we're going to go over here and we're going to repeat that. Divide those two out. What are you left with? Well, the x's cancel out, so you just have 10. That 10 is going to get written up here. And we're going to distribute again. So that 10 is going to get distributed to the x and the 2. So 10 times x is 10x. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. Subtract down. So I'm going to put parentheses around that and change all the signs inside. So that negative will cancel that out. That negative and negative will again change that to a positive. And 5 minus negative 20 is 5 plus 20. That's going to give us 25. Now stop for a moment. Do you have anything left to bring down? No. So this is going to end up being your remainder. Your quotient is 4x plus 10. Your remainder is 25, and you divide it by x minus 2. So you know over here we did 20 and 5/6. Well, this would be 4x plus 10 and 25 over x minus 2. We write it like this. We say 4x plus 10. Now we want to put a plus f between those, so it's going to be plus 25 over x minus 2. So that's how you write your final solution. Remember, this number out here is your remainder. This is your divisor. Let me make a little note here. Your remainder, divisor, and this is going to be your quotient. And together that forms your full solution. Do you think you got this? You ready to try number 1B? If so, pause the video and try it on your own. If not, follow along again. All right, so let's set this up. Now, if you notice here, I have 2x cubed, 4x squared, and it skipped right to 5. What are we missing? We don't have an x term here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put 0x. Anytime you have missing terms, we're gonna put a 0 in whatever that term variable is with the appropriate exponent as its variable. So this is going to be 0x. X plus 3, we don't have anything missing because it starts with an x term and ends with a constant. So when I set up my house, I'm going to do x plus 3. I'm going to do 2x cubed plus 4x squared. I'm going to do 0x minus 5. That part's important. All right, let's do a little division. So you want to take your first terms and divide those out. Well, what do you get when you divide those? You get 2x cubed divided by x. That's going to be 2x squared. We're going to write that up here. We're going to distribute into the outside expression. So your divisor is going to get multiplied by 2x squared. And that's going to give you 2x cubed. These will always be the same. We want to cancel those out. And then 2x cubed times 3 is 6, or 2x squared times 3 is 6x squared. Subtract down. That'll cancel that. And then that positive will now turn to negative, right? So if it's plus, it becomes minus. If it's minus, it becomes plus. So when we're subtracting down, we actually have nothing here. 4 minus 6, well, what's that? That's negative 2. Bring the x squared down. Now bring the 0x down. Bring the next term down. We're going to repeat that process again, dividing these out. So take your first term and the first term out here and divide those out. And that'll be negative 2x. So the negative will stay negative. That'll go up here. And distribute. So negative 2x times x. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 3, negative 6x. Subtract down. When you subtract down, you change the signs. So negative will become positive. Cancel those out. 0x minus negative, so plus 6x. That's going to give you 6x. Now we have another thing to bring down, so we're going to bring down the minus 5. And we'll repeat this process again. Sometimes there's 3, 4 trials to go before you get everything. So again, take your first terms there, divide them out. That's just going to cancel to 6. We write that up here. And we distribute. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 3, that's 18. Subtract. Distribute your negative. So these are both positive, they'll become negatives. Those will cancel. And negative 5 minus 18 is negative 23. That's your remainder. Since we don't have another term to bring down, you have your remainder. So our final answer is going to be your quotient, 2x squared, minus 2x plus 6. Now this is a negative 23, so I'm actually going to say minus. You can say plus negative, it's fine. But since that's negative, I'm going to make minus there. And that's going to go over your divisor, x plus 3. All right, that video covers these 2 examples. We want to try this one on your own. The next video we'll go over the solution for that and have example 2 worked out and have you try to work that out, and I'll go over the solution in the next video. So the next video will cover the backside. Thank you for watching.